This is week 3 of the 2014 CSA season. And before I start this week, I want to mention that obviously it rained this morning. This is Wednesday afternoon right now. And I'm sure you're all well aware that we had a big storm roll through this morning. And that kind of set us back a little bit, mainly because we lost power here for almost, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 hours. And that's not that big a deal for most things on the farm, other than it shuts the water pump off. So we didn't have any water for almost all day, which really set us behind on washing everything. So we're going to do the best we can to get everything washed up to our usual standard and make sure that everything in your box is clean. But we're running behind schedule, so if things are a little bit dirtier in your box than you're used to, that's why. Otherwise, the storm didn't do too terribly much damage. There's a lot of things that are leaning to the south now from the north wind. The only thing that I think might be actually damaged is the sweet corn. That's pretty much all kind of leaning at a 45-degree angle after this morning. So we'll hope that recovers, but it may not do quite as well as it would have otherwise. So on to this week's share. Starters, we have another bunch of green garlic. If you're getting tired of it, this is your last week. If you're not getting tired of it, it's still your last week. And this is lacinato kale, also called Tuscan or dinosaur kale. It's kind of the same thing as the curly kale you got 2 weeks ago, but somewhat different flavor and different texture. And this is a head of lettuce. The variety is called New Red Fire. These are salad turnips, also called Hackeri turnips. That's the specific variety. They're somewhat similar to radishes, but a little bit different flavor, and you can really use them kind of the same way, cut them up, eat them raw, throw them in a salad, that kind of deal. One thing to note on these is you might be able to see it on the video here, is they often get this kind of insect damage on them. It's typically entirely superficial, so just trim off a little outside and it should be good to go. And then we have a bunch of green onions, also called scallions or winter onions or a handful of other things, but I tend to call them green onions. And a bag of spinach. And we have the first of the strawberries for the year. This should be coming in for about 3 weeks, depending on how hot it is. The hotter it is, the faster the season goes. So if you want more strawberries, kind of hope for 70-degree highs for the next 3 weeks, and you might get them a little longer. And there's a possibility that some of you will get an extra item this week. We have the summer squash, the zucchini, and that kind of thing just starting to come in. So depending on how many we get later this afternoon, we may put some of them in your boxes. But I'm pretty sure we won't have enough to get everybody some, and if you do get any, it's going to be just 1 or 2, which is fewer than we typically like to do for the rest of the season. But keep an eye out for those too. And that's all for the week.